All right, Shalom. This video is just something I wanted to do real quick, centered around one precept, Second Ezra chapter 15, and I got a couple other precepts lined up. But basically, I was just walking home and I was thinking about how, between me and a couple other guys I see every day, I really don't know my neighbors like that. And for the longest, I hadn't really known my neighbors like, how it is, like, growing up, in black communities, you kind of don't really know the names of, we really don't deal with people's names. We just kind of like know them by their face, and we kind of acknowledge them, say what's up, had a little small talk. Hey, now, how's it going? You know how Jake do, right? And I was just thinking, man, I was just wondering, in these days, I don't think most neighbors really know their neighbors like that unless they like own homes or been in their communities 20 plus years and shit like that. I don't think like these newer, younger generations don't really know they neighbors like that. You know what I'm saying? I think there's really a major separation between, a disconnect between the people in their community and the people that live around them, man. And you could tell me, how, if what do you think? You know what I'm saying? But I feel like today in 2020, neighbors really don't know each other like that. They might know their name, maybe if that, you know what I'm saying? But, people ain't really fucking with each other like that, for real, for real. And I'm just going to use this article. It says, in the Lehigh Valley, Trump versus Biden pits neighbor versus neighbor. And this is pretty much a twin house. And I think this is in New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, where they literally divided. One side of the house is Trump, one side of the house is Biden. And this shit got the whole United States divided, dude. This whole, either the Trump or Biden, left, right, BLM, Antifa, Proud Boys. And this thing is all leading up to major prophecy happening in the earth. Now, I'm not going to read this article, but you pretty much get the idea of what it's about. It's a divided neighborhood, and people are divided, you know what I'm saying? People are either for Trump or they're against him, And I see these signs everywhere, and, this is the perfect storm for the shit to hit the fan. So this is the precept that I had this lesson centered around. All right, because this prophecy is one that has always gravitated with me. Like, I've always kind of like resonated with it since I first seen it, and I can see it in my mind's. I can see this happening. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go ahead and read this. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. This is prophecy. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Verse 18, I start there. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Now, we know that the biblical definition of a neighbor really is a fellow Israelite, because the people of the Bible, the Lord's chosen people, are the Israelites. So when it talks about thou shalt, matter of fact, let's get it, just for edification, because we know, it's a lot of new sheep waking up. Hopefully I spell this right. I think it's what a U are. All right, so Leviticus 19:18, right? Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. You see that in the NLT, it says it right there. It says, do not seek revenge or bear grudge against a fellow Israelite, but love your neighbor as yourself, because the neighbors are referring to fellow Israelites. All right, so in the biblical, context, a neighbor is a fellow Israelite. Okay. The word here is ra'ai, friend, companion, fellow, another person. All right, but it's speaking about fellow Israelites. Thou shalt love thy neighbor, which are your fellow Israelites, as thyself. That's a commandment from the Lord, okay? So, but in the modern day sense of the word neighbors, we think about it as people who live next to you. You know what I'm saying? And think about it, even if that was the case, do people love thy neighbor? Even if we look at it from that perspective, do you love your neighbor? No. And these people that say, oh, yeah, I love my neighbor. Man, no, you don't, man. You don't even know your neighbor. You don't know nothing about him. All right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. All right. The modern day sword is the gun. So people are gonna be going and gun sales are up in 2020. We already at the we've already passed the amount of gun sales sold for 2019, and 2020 hasn't even ended yet. So people are stocking up on guns. All right, it says, "But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods." All right, meaning they're gonna take what they can find useful, what they want, what they need. It says because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So a time is gonna come in the earth, especially here in Babylon the Great, where there's gonna be a lack of food shortages. And what are companies doing? Major corporations are already buying and hoarding up food because they're about to manufacture a famine. And this is going to bring a lot of you Babylonians, you Americans, to your knees and submit to the wicked agenda and the wicked plans of the elites, man. The Edomites that run this earth, that you don't believe exist, that you believe is a conspiracy theory. Real soon you're gonna see that the counsel of the Lord shall stand, which is the words of this book, and it's the Lord's Yahweh Bashem Yahweh plan for these things to happen to fulfill His purpose. All right, so again, it says because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And all of this tribulation is leading up to the second coming of who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, who is Yahweh Shah Mashiach, all right, a so-called black man who had a Hebrew name. All right, his name was Yahweh Shah, which means he is salvation. Hamashiach means the Christ, the anointed. That's what Christ means, anointed. He was the anointed one. All right, so let me get my few little precepts. This is Proverbs 17:17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. And a lot of you Americans hadn't been through no adversity here, man. This has been, America has, they have welfare. They have like a safety net. There's really no real poor people here, because even if you homeless here, you have ways to get food. You know what I'm saying? Food. You get access to shelters, access to food pantries, all these different little resources. So there hadn't really been no adversity here, and friends come through adversity, man. Let me get Sirach 11 and what's that, 25? Yeah, Sirach 11 and 25. It says, in the day of prosperity there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction there is no more remembrance of prosperity. So when you going through it, you tend to forget about the times when things were all good. You worried about right now. And then to the contrary, when you got it all, you tend to forget about the times when you didn't have it. So, the good old days of America, people ain't gonna be thinking about that no more, man. It's gonna be, how can I get it? How can I survive? How I'm gonna eat? Because it's gonna be so much tribulation, so much adversity here, man. People ain't gonna remember the prosperous days of America. So, and a lot of you people ain't been through nothing with your so-called friends. Y'all ain't been through no real shit together. So it ain't really, y'all really don't have anything, no real bond, nothing real. The only thing that's real is the brotherhood, the believers, that's serving Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. This is the only thing that's real, because it's rooted in a strong foundation. Everything in the world, these so-called fraternities and all that shit, that shit ain't rooted in nothing real. It's all vanity. And at the end of the day, you people are in love with yourselves. All right, you worship yourselves. Okay. And yeah, that's all. I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Oh, I got one more. Let's get Second Esdras. Let's get Second Esdras chapter 6, and we'll end it here. Cause this going into the food, the food gonna go away. That's gonna be a major part of this tribulation. And all you people with these fake ass highs and buys and how you doings, and you know, perking your little face up when somebody holds the door for you. Thank you. Like, all this shit is phony, man. And this is why this prophecy has always been an attractive prophecy to me, because I can see it happening, and I see these people are phony, and they gonna be all for themselves when the time comes. 2 Ezra 6:20, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. Tokens is a sign. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. In the book of these scriptures, man, these scriptures have been opened and explained for the world by way of the internet. I'm gonna go ahead and jump straight down to 22. And suddenly shall the sown houses, the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And that happened the first time during the first wave. This whole thing, this whole pandemic thing, shit was empty, man. It started getting real hard to find rice, water, toilet paper, things that we take for granted here. Verse 23, but guess what? Hey, I read that, people are already starting to panic buy. They start a second wave of panic buying is already beginning again in certain places. So that's about to happen again. And this time, shit, it might not get replenished, all right? Verse 23, and a trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. You see? This ain't going to be the Lord's servants doing this. They ain't finna be fighting against each other like enemies. This going to be the people of the world. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. Beautiful, man. Because this is all a part of that tribulation. 2 Ezra chapter 8. Let's go ahead and get it. Verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. So it's all connected. You see, a lot of the tribulation, the troubles that's going to come on this earth, especially in Babylon the Great, is because of the pride of you people, man. You Americans, you just don't think that anything can happen to you. You feel like you're invincible. You feel like you're the best. You feel like you look the best, you dress the best, you smell the best, you are the best. You feel like you'll never be brought low. Like the scripture says, she have said in her heart, I am, and there is none else. And the Lord is fattening you people up for the slaughter, man. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end that, man, through the Spirit. This is just one of my favorite prophecies to go into, man, how a man should have no pity upon his neighbor. Because of that great tribulation and lack of bread, man. All of that phony shit gonna go out the window, man. You really gonna see people's true colors in a minute. All right, shalom.